Hi guys! I went to KCON New York. KCON New York was a one-day event instead of LA's three-day event because it was KCON's first time in New York. Basically, as I had said on my Facebook page and also in my last video about KCON before I went, the link to that is here and the link to the Facebook page is in the description below. I was going to be acting as a reviewer. I would be experiencing KCON, so if you couldn't or you were weary about it, you would know what to expect next year, what maybe could be changed, what was good about it, or maybe you could sit at home and be like, oh, I'm sure glad I didn't spend money on that, or crap, I wish I could have gone to that, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I didn't buy tickets, or any combination of any of those. So let's get started. The layout of KCON was that, unfortunately, unlike its LA counterpart, it was all outdoors, with the highest temperature being 86 degrees. And how do I put this? It was small. It was very small. They had one whole street blocked off and that was full of booths, and then another like section in front of it was all around the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, because it's New Jersey Con, not New York KCON. There was a lot of people sponsoring it. There was a huge Toyota booth. There was DirecTV. Verizon was also there too. Lots of sponsored stuff. And a lot of them were giving away freebies like this. I got a DirecTV 5-color highlighter, so thanks for that. And that was to be expected, I guess, because you need a lot of sponsors to host something like this. The lines, though, were not long at all. I'm not sure if it's because we got there at the time we did, and maybe they were like, well, forget it, let's just have people who are already here early get their tickets early or something, but we got our tickets in like 4 minutes. It was really quick, and with it, we got a swag bag voucher and also a little audience thing that would say if you got to go to a fan meet. And I was shocked about that because apparently I had thought that you only get those for P1 and P2. That's the very front rows of seating. And I was P5 because I'm a cheapskate and I didn't want to pay $250 for something I wasn't sure was going to be all of that. So we got the way far back one. And so I was like, oh cool, let's see if we got anybody. And this was what I got. Sorry. And that's fine, except I wasn't aware that it was a goddamn raffle. Like, I thought it was you get somebody. Nope, they never said like, oh, if you're not P1 or P2, you could have a chance. Like, that was never announced ever. So it got my hopes up for nothing, and that was kind of annoying. But we went to the swag bag pickup, and again, I'm P5, or, you know, not the important sections of the concert seating. So I knew that we wouldn't be getting much, and we got a bag. It's kind of a small bag too, with nothing in it. However, what I heard from other people, my friends who were in the P1 or P2 sections, was that their swag bag, like, only came with stickers. Wow, I'm so glad I didn't pay that extra, like, $100-something so I could get a swag bag that had stickers. At least that's as far as P2 went. I'm not sure about P1, maybe they got some cooler stuff, but I didn't really ask. Upon going into KCON, you also got a pamphlet, which first of all has the artists in it. Along with it is the sponsors, and then they give you a layout of everything. They give you a expo directory, which only says, you know, the names of the places, but it doesn't tell you on here where they are. Like, it says who's there, but it doesn't say where on the map. And they didn't really have signs on their tents saying, this is whatever, unless it was McDonald's or Toyota with their big, huge booth with the car in it. They also had the panel schedule, the workshop schedule, neither of which I went to because they both filled up wicked quickly, and the artist engagement. And you might look at this and notice something. There's no SNSD. Yeah, apparently people found that out at the early check-in. You could check in early on the Friday before from 2 to 6 p.m. I didn't get there until about 11, so that obviously wasn't happening. But people found out when they got this that Girls' Generation was not doing a fan meet, which bummed out a lot of my friends who were hoping for AOA or Girls' Generation. Their chances of getting what they wanted went from 50% to about 33% because I don't know why they're hating on VIX, but I swear to you, nobody wanted Teen Top. It was the most strange thing ever. Another thing was, on KCON's website, it lists the guests, like all of the guests, but the majority of them went to LA, and there's no differential as for who's going to LA and who's going to New York. Like, when I saw that for the YouTubers reaction panel, that Mr. Popo and Dylan Jacob were there, I was shocked because it didn't say anywhere on this. Like, announce your guests. Like, guests artists are fine, but announce, like, the other guests. It seems weird that they didn't do that. So we had time to walk around, to go check out the booths and everything, and lines were already huge, especially for the merchandise. The lines were super slow moving, and it was very clear that the people running the booths did not expect there to be this many people, because a lot of the booths, like, per tent, there was, like, you'd be lucky if there was 2 people manning the stations, basically. A lot of them were only run by 1 person, which was why the lines and everything progressed so slowly. So it took forever for me to get the merchandise that I wanted, which actually turned out to be the majority of what I spent my time doing, was waiting in lines. I did hang around the Toyota booth. There was basically each person who wanted to dance would come up, tell the spokesperson what they were dancing to, and they would put it on a bunch of speakers, and everybody would come around and dance to it who could or wanted to dance to it. It was really cool. I just wish it wasn't so hot out because I was sweating so bad. I also wish that the speakers for the Toyota tent were better because they were kind of bad. The fan meets, though, from what I heard, and I guess I didn't get to go, but from what I heard, they only lasted about 15 to 20 minutes. The way that it went was basically everybody would get in a line, you would do, it was like a high touch, so, you know, like high five, shake hands, little heart things, go down the line, you can't really stop, like it has to be sort of rushed, and then it'd be maybe a 7 or so minute interview with each of the groups, and there'd be a translator there and everything. But really, the fan event, it did not last long, even though each fan event, AOA, then VIX, and then Teen Top, were about 2 hours apart from each other, so it seemed like they were supposed to last longer. I'm sure it was, you know, enough for the people who were hardcore fans of AOA, VIX, and Teen Top, but for me that just kind of seems like, I don't know, it's a bummer. Another thing, I had the hashtag Poor Teen Top going a couple of times on my Facebook page. Poor Teen Top, oh my god. This thing right here, the fan meet, the thing that you get, before this even happened, before the convention, people were online being like, if I get Teen Top, can somebody trade me for AOA or SNSD, when they thought SNSD was still doing it? Like, no, I could not find anybody who wanted Teen Top. There were so many people yelling, anybody want to trade Teen Top for VIX or Teen Top for AOA? Like, not even 10 minutes went by without somebody yelling it to advertise it, or signs going up saying trading Teen Top for VIX. I felt bad. Like, somebody has to be that group, but it's just sad seeing that group. Now let's get to the most important part of this, aka the part I paid money for, because, forgot to mention, the convention was actually free. The concert was what you needed to pay money for, that you needed a ticket for. So the concert, the lineup time was from 6 to 7 to try to get everybody seated and going in. There was no organized system. Like, I could not find a single, like, KCON staff person. I just basically kept seeing the same two, like, Prudential Center security people. That disorganization was insanity. And it suddenly made sense why they needed an hour to seat everybody. Like, I was annoyed. It was annoying. But I had P5 with my 2 friends, so we walked all the way up. I was already feeling vertigo because, like, you're so high up, and for Big Bang I was P4, so I was a level lower, but, like, there's something about the slope and being so high up, it was like, it got your heart going. But let me let you in on something. If you were at KCON, let me fill you in on what happened. The show had just started at about 7. There was an MC guy who I honestly forget his name. He was announcing, like, winners of, like, dance cover contests and fan art contests. During the fan art contest, I guess there was some technical difficulty with the video, and that was the last thing I heard him say, because all of a sudden, screams, like, right behind me, a girl who is not petite like myself, she somehow 3 rows behind us fell forward. She fell against my 2 friends who were next to me. Like, we were in row 4, like, right and very close to the railing. She almost, like, fell off the section. It was probably one of the most scary moments of my whole life. I didn't even know it was not possible for someone to do that. She couldn't get up for, like, a whole minute. Her stuff went everywhere. And I guess the MC asked if we were okay up there and then just kept going with the MCing. Like, I was holding the girl up, like, I did not want her to keep falling. And EMT, like, she was fine, but my friends' backs were sore the next day. I'm counting my lucky stars that I was not in the line of fire, but, like, it has nothing to do with the convention in of itself, but it was terrifying. Like, she actually fell. Like, you think falling, she rolled and fell over people. So, yeah, So, in case you guys were wondering what the screaming in the top section was about, that was why. I was right in the thick of it, and it was scary. The concert itself, obviously and honestly, the best part of the whole thing, oh my goodness, it was so good. My ultimate bias in anything ever in K-pop is Sunny from Girls' Generation. My voice sounds fine, but my throat is still hurting so much from how I was screaming how much I loved her. And my throat was already sore by like screaming for VIXX and Teen Top and even AOA, who I honestly don't know that much about. And I even gained a new bias out of it. So AOA's Yuna, I love you. So they gained a new fan out of me. Teen Top, for the lack of response they had for their fan meet, like with everybody trying to give their Teen Top fan meet tickets away, they had some of the loudest cheers. It was like, where were you guys when everybody was trying to get rid of their fan meet things? Like, they got louder cheers than VIXX, I think. And I was cheering very hard for VIXX and N. My baby. But it was insane and very good because I was really worried that they weren't going to get the warm reception that everybody else did, so that was really good. VIXX was amazing, except they didn't do any of the songs I wanted them to do. It was a bummer, but what can you do? Girls' Generation obviously went last, and, you know, rightly so. They tried to perform as many newer songs as they could because they had the choreography and the line distribution for 8 people, but they did some really, you know, they did some hits like G and Genie, and it was interesting to see how they distributed Jessica's lines. And I know nobody wants to really harp on Jessica, you know, not being there, but it's a very obvious people are like, oh, they're fine with just 8, but for me, I noticed that lack of, you know, space. There was still choreography bits in G and Genie where, you know, there's a space where Jessica should be because they hadn't, I guess, totally worked that out yet. And it's just something you notice, like, you can't help but notice it. Tiffany was so cute as an MC. Like, I was worried that she would talk like the chatterbox that she is, but she was wicked cute. I cannot honestly say that I was disappointed with any of the groups. Even the ones like AOA that I didn't know very well, all of them had their own charms. They all sounded amazing. There really was not a down moment for me. I was super impressed. They even had special stages for AOA's vocal line and Teen Top's vocal line, and it was a great concert, and I'm really happy that I got to go to that and that my money was well spent. Thank you guys for listening to all of this. I hope you get a good idea about what KCON was like. Overall, I mean, if I had to give it like a 1 to 10 score, the convention aspect, I would probably give it a 5, just because there was a lack of staff, there was a lack of things to do for the amount of time that the convention was going on. There's usually a K-pop booth at anime conventions. This was kind of like that, but stretched out into a street. The lines were ridiculous. The heat was even more ridiculous. I don't want to talk about the porta-potties because those were disgusting. Obviously, things could have been improved. It's one of those things where I'm really glad that that part was free, or else I'd be very mad. However, there is something really amazing about meeting your friends like I did that you talk to so much online about K-pop and being able to talk about this thing that people around us usually don't understand, and having them get it. I was talking to so many strangers, like, I wish I could have gotten some of their contact info because they were really nice people, and stylish people too. It was just a great experience, and it achieved its purpose, its main purpose, which was to get K-pop fans together to celebrate this genre that we've all really come to love, and the artists that we've also come to love from it. The concert I would give a 9 out of 10 because I wish that girl hadn't fallen and made me paranoid for the whole night. I also wish I was closer, but from where I was in P5, they had jumbo screens. But otherwise, I got to see my ultimate bias. I couldn't ask for anything more than that. She waved at me. I can tell you right now, even though it was all the way from up in P5, she waved at me because I'm gonna be that delusional person. And Sunny, I love you with all my heart. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this review was at least somewhat helpful. What did you guys think of KCON if you went? Would you go again next year if they made the necessary changes? I get that LA is bigger and they've been doing it for more years, but I feel like we got neglected as, you know, East Coast fans. They didn't give us information as promptly as the LA ones. They weren't updating their Facebook page with as much stuff as the LA one. We were kind of wandering in the dark for a lot of this stuff, and then only got 4 groups, which, I mean, Girls' Generation might as well make up 3 groups with their popularity and just, you know, their overall being them. But I wish there was more groups and just more stuff and things to do. But we were the guinea pigs. What can you do? Hopefully they'll come back next year and be twice as good. Maybe even more. Until then, look forward to the next video here on my channel. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.